beautiful day in Surprise, Arizona as we get ready for today's game. Minnesota and Oregon State, the 2024 Sanderson Ford Classic. A lot of tailgating going on, a lot of fans coming in, especially Oregon State, the host team. A lot of their fans are here as well as we get ready for what should be an outstanding contest. Scott Coletti along with David Ardsma, former MLB pitcher, and we are here for Minnesota and Oregon State. Yesterday, Oregon State, David, they had an outstanding game in terms of beating a New Mexico's team that came in with a lot of high hopes, and they did it with 7 home runs.
7 home runs, 6 different players. 11 of their 17 hits were extra base hits. They came out swinging fast and doing it with the long ball.
And then you're seeing last night, the nightcap went late into the night, 12 innings to be exact. Minnesota pulling it out 8-7.
8-7. They had a chance to finish it though in the 9th, the 10th, and they finally did in the 12th. Good pitching all around, good baseball game.
And you see some of the home runs for Oregon State. It was a 15-6 ball game in day 1 of the 2024 season. And today it's a new day. We got a good matchup. Jacob Komatz, who started the tournament last year, he is going to be the starter here today on Saturday. And Tucker Novotny will be the pitcher for Minnesota. A couple of very good arms.
Great arms. Novotny ended his year with 5 of the last 6 starts as wins, and everybody knows about Komatz, Pac-12 player Pac-12 preseason All-American. So he'll be starting on the mound.
There's the defense. Guerra at first, Bazana at second, Hainline at short, Caraway at third. Turley in left, McDowell in center, Casper in right. Behind the plate is Wilson Weber, and Komatz is on the hill. Komatz last year, 13-6, a 4.44 ERA, 8-4 in the Pac-12, 4.30. And the first pitch, we are underway, 12:02 as you look at the batting order. Brady Council, Boston Marilla, along with Jake Perry. Weber kneels, the first baseman bats cleanup as the pitch is fouled off. Chris Hokinson in right, Ike Mazenga, DH, Sam Hunt the catcher, Brady Jurgella the center fielder, and Jake Spanier, who didn't play last night. He is a shortstop batting 9th. And Tucker Novotny the pitcher. Good looking breaking ball by Komatz. Now Komatz is spelled with a K, but one thing this guy has is command.
Absolutely, and incredible stuff right now. You see him starting the game 92-93.
There you saw the rest of the batting order, and that's a drive down the left field line. That will be near the corner. On his way to second is Council, diving head first for a double.
Nice double down the line. Exactly what Minnesota wants to do. Get it started. You know you're facing a team with a really good offense. So how do you beat that? Even better offense.
Yeah, he came out swinging indeed and got it down the right field line, or the left field line, excuse me. He was 1 for 6 yesterday. Leads off with his first double of the year.
1 for 6 offensively, but defensively he was in almost every single play.
He was off the charts, yes.
Yeah, he was all over the place. Really did a great job for Minnesota.
Absolutely. The batter now is Boston Marilla. Marilla was 2 for 7 yesterday. He had a double, 1 RBI, 1 strikeout.
A lot of times you just want to get the season started by getting some at-bats. First game getting 7 at-bats. That is a way to start it.
That's a little dunker in the center, but making the line drive catch is the center fielder, Micah McDowell. We've seen him do that before. Outstanding catch, and McDowell got it back into the infield quickly with thoughts of getting Brady Council on a double play. We always talk about the Oregon State offense. It's the defense that is just as solid. I mean, they make plays that you wonder how they made plays sometimes. Now that one, he just ran up to the ball and made the catch, but They are extremely good.
Always solid, and that's one of those things that makes very good teams great. You see great defense. No issue on that ball. He almost overran it, but you know what? He made the play. That ball took off. It looked like at the last second, but he was able to make the adjustment, make the play, and tried to get Counsell, but Counsell was a smart ball player. Got back.
Counsell at second. Fake over to second. The rule in college, do they give you one gimme and then you have to throw over?
That's the first time I've seen that. The first time I
They
knew about it.
started that last year, actually.
I didn't, and I never knew about it until I watched it happen and saw it obviously happen a lot.
The first 2 days, I don't think we saw it in effect until like the third day, but we did see it last year, where the pitcher will make a move and then he's committed, and they'll even pause and just. We saw that yesterday. He paused and then threw the ball over just to throw it because that's what the rule says.
It's interesting. A lot of times we make the rules to try to speed up the game, and
that's
one
not
of those
one
things
to
that
speed
is
up.
definitely not to speed it
Well,
up.
it speeds up the game if you make the throw quickly, but if you just pause and say, okay, I'll throw it, it's not so much.
And that's kind of all we've seen so far is the look, just giving him a look, and then it's almost like the pitcher forgets and he goes, oh, I got to throw it.
Right. On the outside corner, strike by Komatz. And the count is even at 2-2. Jake Perry. Yesterday, Perry was 2 for 6 on RBI. Had 2 doubles.
You talked about Komatz's command. 72 innings pitched last year, 26 walks, 61 punch-outs. Very good command.
And there was one punch-out right there. Caught looking. Komatz gets his first strikeout of the season. Young man out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, Sandia High School. Weber Neal's coming up. He's batting 200. No home runs and 2 RBIs. Neal's yesterday was 1 for 5. Chris Hokanson waiting his turn on deck. No score here in the first inning. Foul to the right of us out of play.
One of those is going to come back to us, and I'm going to make a play on it.
You were expecting one yesterday that just went a few booths over.
Not far from us. I will go all out for it. Just look out. If you're below us, just be heads up. I'm going
show
I'm
your
going for
old MLB glove skills.
I don't know about skills, but I will make
You
an
wore a
attempt.
glove, though.
I had a glove. it was a glove. It was there.
Breaking ball. That's a beauty. Counsell faking over second, and they almost got him.
Weber showing off a good arm there. Probably delayed maybe just a little too long. Not sure what Counsell was going to do. He got off the bag. Kind of looked like it was like a delay fake, trying to get him, Weber, to throw to second base. He didn't fall for it. Got back just in time.
Weber, young man out of Gresham, Oregon, San Barlow High School, 6'1", 216, and he's a junior with a very good arm, and that pitch just missed.
Weber, very good arm, and a whole lot of fans here in attendance. I'm seeing about 9, 10 different people wearing a Weber jersey. I love it.
And he walked him. Good at bat for Weber Neals. So we got Wilson Weber, the catcher, Weber Neals over at first. Komatz with a walk and a strikeout here in the first inning. Chris Hokanson, the batter, 3 for 7 yesterday. No home runs, no RBIs. He struck out once.
did have a triple. Not one of the batters right now you'll be falling behind on. We'll see how Kmatz handles him.
Counsell at second, Niels at first. Big swing and a miss and a big fastball. 93 on the gun. He whipped that in there, didn't he?
He leaned back and just let it go. 2-0. He did not hold much back.
Just a tad outside on that pitch. Wasn't far at all. Of course, you hear the moan from the Oregon State fans. There's a ton of them here today. Right field, shallow. Coming up is Casper. And the right fielder puts it in the glove for out number 3. Nothing across. A double, 2 men left on. We go to the bottom of the first, no score. Minnesota and Oregon State here on FloBaseball. Back here in Surprise, Arizona, you look at Tucker Novotny, the left-hander. Tucker Novotny, the left-hander. Weber Niels is the first baseman. Counsell at second. Spaniard short. Perry at third. Morella in left. Dragella in center. Hokanson in right. Hunt is behind home plate. And Novotny, who was 4-5 last year, is on the hill, facing off against Murderers Row here today for Oregon State. So it's going to be a tough one for him. But Novotny, last year, 14 appearances, all starts. As you look at the Oregon State lineup, Bazana leading off. He is the second baseman. Guerra at first. McDowell center fielder. Casper the right fielder. Shortstop is Hainline batting fifth. Turley batting sixth in left field. DH is Peterson. Weber the catcher. And Caraway, who had a good game last night, I'll say, 2 home runs. He's batting ninth.
Not bad way to start the season, batting .750, obviously, after the very first game. When we're talking about Novotny, it's a tale of 2 seasons. At the first half of the season, struggled, took a little bit to find his way, find his rhythm. And then once he got into Big Ten play, was a completely different pitcher. All 6 of his wins came in Big Ten play, including a loss where he pitched 6 innings and no earned runs. That's a little tough one. That's a tough one to take, but easily could have walked away with 7-1 after the first half of the season.
Travis Bazana, the batter. Bazana yesterday, 2 for 5, had a home run, 2 RBIs, struck out once. Followed by Mason Guerra and Micah McDowell. Liner up the middle. That's a base hit.
Watch out.
Yeah, Bazzana's coming out swinging and swinging hard. Gets the first hit of the day for Oregon State.
It might have been 90 out of the hand, but that was a lot faster than 90 going right back up the middle.
I was going to say, that might be 110 going back.
Yeah, you might want to watch out.
Just missed the backside of Novotny. Batter now is Mason Guerra. Guerra yesterday 0 for 3. No batting average. Novotny ended up being the Friday starter last year. John Anderson, the head coach, said he gave his team an opportunity to be in the games and win those games every time he was on the hill. So he battled. Good fastball, breaking ball change. And the key, as that one was a ball, is how much he is in the zone. If he's in the zone, he is very, very hard to beat.
And that's one of those things that you're going to see it across the board with a whole lot of college pitchers. If you're throwing strikes that are hard to beat, a lot of times you don't get the guys throwing a whole lot of strikes. You know, 39 walks in 73 innings. He also backed that up with 80 punch-outs. So over 1 per 9. That's pretty dang good as a starter. And so we'll see how he continues that. See how what he does against an offense like this and how he handles it.
Well, you know how to handle things, being a former MLB pitcher and also a College World Series pitcher, College World Series winning pitcher. Your team at Rice won the World Series, but the pitch is up high. The thing about giving away the freebies, that's when you really get into trouble.
Absolutely. That's the difference between good and great at the college level, especially in offenses like this. When you give them anything, whether it be an error, a walk, any free kind of pass, they jump on it. They see red and they attack it. That's what offenses like Oregon State did yesterday. And so as a pitching staff, force them to swing the bat. I know it sounds almost counterintuitive when you had such good bats. Force them to swing the bat, but make them swing at your pitches.
Right.
And if you're getting ahead, you can then throw your pitches. What we saw yesterday from New Mexico was getting behind a whole lot, and then Oregon State got to swing at the pitches they wanted to swing at. Or when you had to try to bring it back into the zone, they jumped all over them. So at that point, once you're getting behind too much and you can't show a secondary pitch, they're going to attack you.
Yeah, it's a full count right now. That was a swing and a miss with the runner going. It's going to be a stolen base for Bazzana, who is now 1 for 2. Bazzana went all the way on the pitch, but Guerra, strikeout victim. But that's one of the things that John Anderson said. He had hiccups last year with being out of the zone, giving away freebies. And he said, you take away the freebies, this guy's really good, and at the end of the day, he says he feels that this guy will be at the next level.
Absolutely, because you see he's got the strikeout stuff. He's got movement, he's got action, he's got a little funky delivery. We saw the pick at first. He actually had a good look at Bazzana, just didn't quite get it at the right spot at the pick. So he has all the tools you need. Now it's tighten that up, stay in the zone a little bit more, lock that in, and so you let your strikeout pitches happen. Now you're looking at Bazzana, stole second base. Last year he had 36 steals last year, and 51 on his career. So he is 4th all-time at Oregon State for steals. Even at this point, he should pass that pretty easy and become 3rd.
Look at McDowell. He had a home run in his first at-bat yesterday. 750 coming in. McDowell had an outstanding game and an outstanding bunt there. He was 3 for 4 yesterday. Now that leaves it up to Brady Casper, who was 1 for 2 yesterday with a run scored.
Mazzana needs 11 more to tie for the Oregon State career best in stolen bases with Todd Thomas. The way this offense will be going, we might see it this weekend.
I was going to say the only guy in the lineup yesterday who did not score a run who started was Mason Guerra. Everybody else scored at least one. In fact, there were only 3 guys who only scored one.
It's incredible. This offense, it was lights out yesterday. That's a great way to start a season. That's obviously exactly how you want to start a season. Let's see how they continue it, though.
Strike 3 called. 91 on the fastball, and Novotny strikes him out looking. So Novotny gets out of a jam with a runner at third, and we go to the second. Scoreless, Minnesota and Oregon State on FloBaseball. Stockletti and former Major League pitcher David Ardsma here in Surprise, Arizona. It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon. A little bit of wind out in right center field on the flags. They're blowing around just a tad. Last year there was a game where the wind was really whipping. It was one of the night games, so sometimes you have a little bit of change in the direction and just the weather from one game to the other, but this is a typical afternoon game.
Typical afternoon for Surprise, Arizona.
Right.
Beautiful day, huge crowd. I love these Saturday games in this tournament because you know that Oregon State, they're having their little barbecue, they're having their outing, and so you get these massive Oregon State crowds. But you can hear a lot of Minnesota fans too. You see some of that darker red, more maroon red inside the orange. You see it sprinkled in.
Saturdays traditionally, this is my 3rd year doing this event. The fans, especially from Oregon State, line both sides. Yesterday we had a bunch of Oregon State fans on the third base side. Today it's on both. It looks like a typical home game. Looks like a home game for Arizona State.
Right.
Which is right down the road.
Right down the road. Yesterday they had 3,200 fans here at the Oregon State versus New Mexico. For sure there's a lot more today.
Yeah, I'm going to say close to 5, maybe even more than that. Mazzanga with a 1-2 count on him. Mazzanga yesterday 0 for 4, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. So he did get a board.
Scored a run too. He got in. He got across.
Sam Hunt, Brady Jurgella to follow. No score. Top of the second inning. Minnesota and number 6 Oregon State. Flash that down the left field line. Just slapped at it. Went the other way. And on his way to second, Mazzanga, he is in with a double. And he is pumped up, getting his first hit of the season and first extra base hit.
That looked like a classic Ichiro or Tony Gwynn style at bat.
Didn't it?
Threw the hands right at the ball. It looked like from the moment he started swinging, he had a purpose trying to get that ball right down that left field line. He did nothing but let that ball take it deep into the back of the zone. down left field, down right by third base. The third baseman was playing far off the bag. He looked like he had a purpose with that at bat, and he executed exactly what he wanted. Great job of hitting.
Yeah, you said it. Execution is all over that. So Mazenga, who got the first shot at shortstop, now he's the DH. Obviously, Coach Anderson wants him in the lineup. Sam Hunt, 0 for 1 yesterday in a pinch hitting role, struck out. Fastball is up high. Hunt out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, with the IMG, which is a athletic powerhouse in pretty much everything.
In pretty much everything. I went down there, spent a lot of time at that campus. Beautiful baseball facility.
Called their football team a couple of times here on Flow Sports, so
Yeah.
they are nasty.
I think at one point the baseball had like 13 different teams out of one high school, out of one program. 13 teams. Now you're looking at Kamats here getting into a little trouble. Mazenga with the double, leadoff double. Counsell at that first inning leadoff double. He's been on in the stretch a whole lot this game already.
Jurgela. Oh, they're going to pick him off. What a play.
And the Webbers go crazy. They are excited.
Like I said before, David, this team is known for its hitting, but the defense is off the charts. They've got a couple of good catchers who can get you napping.
That was a rocket. That's the second time Weber's almost gotten somebody at second base. That time, obviously, finishing it off and actually getting him.
2-6 on the pickoff. Jurgela yesterday 0 for 2. He walked, he struck out. I joked he came on in relief yesterday, and it seemed like he played a full game and then some.
Yes, played a lot.
The pitch by Kamats, 89. And Kamats starting to get into a little bit of a groove, even though he got the first 2 men on. A pickoff will make you forget about a walk, won't it?
Yes, it will. Especially when you get the leadoff double guy out. With Jurgela coming in the 8th inning, getting 3 at-bats last night, you know, and that's incredible when you come in the 8th.
90 on that pitch. Get a good look at the young man out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, Sandia High School. Two balls, 2 strikes. Inning started out with a lot of promise for Minnesota. No swing, but again, that looked like a good pitch.
Good pitch, good, little fastball down and in, slider down and in, maybe a cutter or something. But Jurgela was close. If he held up, it was by the nick, just a tiny little bit.
Look at the runner at first, Hunt. Fly ball, left center field, pretty well hit, but going to his right, making the catch is McDowell. Taking second smartly.
Good play.
Is Sam Hunt.
Good job by Hunt. The catcher moving up on a fly ball.
Jack Spanier coming up.
You don't see that from catchers too often.
No. It wasn't exactly lumbering either.
No.
Spanier takes a strike. 79. That was a good breaking ball. One and one.
Spanier, a three-sport athlete in high school, ended up with, how do you do this? 10 varsity letters. 4 in football, 3 in basketball, 3 in baseball. That you got to be a stud, an absolute high school stud to be able to do that.
Two and two. The only thing about Kamats, he started this at bat with 39 pitches already.
Minnesota's doing a very good job of making him throw. He's gotten a walk both innings. They're forcing him to pitch to Minnesota. They're taking their time. They're watching just like that. Good plate discipline. That's what you do when you're facing very good pitchers like this. You know Kamats knows how to pitch. He's got strikeout stuff. So if he's not throwing just pumping in strikes, you take your time. Slow the game down, make him pitch.
Right.
You know, their best advantage is they're trying to get him out of the game early and then feast on that bullpen.
Feast on that bullpen? Really?
You gotta try. You gotta try.
Yeah, try.
You know, but that's where
I don't know if there's too much feasting on this bullpen.
No, they're, you know, again, very good bullpen, very good team. But if you're going to have your best chance is by having those guys come in that bullpen, especially when you know a guy like Kamats is on the mound. The earlier you can get him out, the better chance you have to score runs.
Big fastball, 91 miles an hour, misses. And second walk for Kamats. A Spanier who didn't play yesterday walks. Council doubled his first time up. Now we're going to have a visit.
Good time for a visit. You know, 46 pitches, getting a little trouble, a couple walks this inning, 9-hole hitter, a kid that hasn't played yet this season, and he walks him. You want to take your time, walk out there, talk to your pitcher, just calm him down a little bit.
46 pitches and 9 on that at-bat.
Yes. Good at bat for a freshman.
Yes, it was.
Now you've seen the bullpen staff running down to the Oregon State side bullpen. Whole bunch of guys going down, moving around. Personally, I never liked that. I never liked watching the game from the dugout. Wasn't my place. I was a bullpen guy. Stick me down. I would have been sitting down there by myself, just watching the game.
I guess you would have been by yourself, wouldn't you?
A lot of times at Rice, it was just me and the bullpen catcher hanging out by ourselves. Everyone else wanted to be in the dugout.
Council takes one up and in on a fastball. Kamats 6'3", 210, out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, Sandia High School. Kamats played for the late Chris Eaton, who passed away, unfortunately, a couple of years ago. Good slider. 85 with movement.
85 with movement. You know, he has 93 in the tank on that fastball right there. Whole lot of confidence. 2-0 going to that slider. You probably know Council's trying to swing, trying to drive in some runs. Flip it over the plate with movement like that. Go back to it.
Council takes a ball, and it's 3-1.
And he looked like it did go back to it, but it stayed straight. Kind of got his arm under it, got all flat on it, and it stayed up.
Fouled off to the right side. Council will stay alive. We saw a few batters yesterday fight off pitches. You hear the Oregon State fans coming alive now.
Trying to support Kamats.
Coming alive indeed. Here comes the 3-2 with the runners going, and it's ball 4 to load the bases. And going over to first. Good at bat there. Council draws a walk.
Now we look at this, and Mazinga getting thrown out at second base is huge.
Yes.
That is absolutely huge. They would already have a run if that hadn't happened.
Third walk by Kamats.
Big swing by Marilla.
92 on the gun. Morello lined out his first time. Came in batting .250. Actually came in batting .286. Currently batting .250. Fly ball, is it playable? Turley makes a catch. Kamats gets out of it. Bases loaded. They leave 3. 5 left on overall to the bottom of the second. No score. Minnesota and Oregon State on FloBaseball. Good look at the crowd here. A lot of folks. Yesterday, like you said, over 3,200. Seemed like more. Today, seems like at least 5, maybe even 6. I actually walked over for the first time as we go to the bottom of the second. First time since I've been out here to that event, just to kind of get the buzz. And I'll tell you what, for being here and not in Oregon, you would think it was a function that was in Corvallis. There were that many people sitting around the tables and everything down the right field line. Very impressive.
Probably a lot of extra buzz, too, with how good this team is. The preseason rankings, you know, we talked about it a lot yesterday. 5th in some rankings, 7th in some rankings. But every ranking having them in the top 10. There's buzz around this team. And any chance you get to come down here, springtime, see them playing in a tournament like this, you got to love it. Got to have that extra energy.
Pitch is taken by Hainline. Hainline, 1-1 with the count to him. Hainline, no average so far. Was 0 for 2 yesterday with a run scored. But it was impressive. They had speakers, and then next thing you knew, they had the fight song at the end.
Oh,
People clapping. I mean, it felt like a home game.
yes, and it should with how many people are out here. It should feel like a home game. They travel so well, but when you have a place like this in Surprise, this great tournament that they put on, man, why wouldn't you want to come down here? Why wouldn't you want to support it?
On the ground, going to be a tough play. Perry throws and gets him.
Good job by Perry coming across and cutting that ball off in front of Spanier. He really took the angle, took the ball, and that's what you want out of your third baseman. If the third baseman ever has the angle on it, just take it because it's an easier play for him than the shortstop trying to come in and throw the ball across his body.
The anticipation you heard from the crowd, they thought it was going to be a tougher play and maybe he would be safe, but good play by the third baseman Perry as Turley fouls it off. Turley yesterday 2 for 4, batting .500 with no home runs, 3 runs batted in. 1 walk and 1 strikeout. And oh, by the way, he only scored 2 runs.
Only 2.
Only 2.
Turley extending his 9-game hit streak to 10 yesterday. Like we talked about, that is tough to do after obviously a whole season break to come in day 1 and continue a hit streak, but now he's at 10.
Turley, talented sophomore. We ran and raved about him last year as a freshman. Ahead in the count, 3-1. Ball 4. It's a heck of an eye.
That's a hard take. Especially 3-1, and that ball didn't miss by much. 3-1, you usually want to be coming out of your shoes, take that chance at that big swing. But Turley showing his patience, showing why he had such a solid year as a freshman, trying to follow that up with a sophomore campaign.
So Turley aboard with a walk. Tice Peterson coming up. How about the sophomore Peterson? 3 for 4. Batting .750. Peterson with 2 home runs yesterday, 3 RBIs. He's ahead in the count 1-0 and got the first visit here for Minnesota.
And Peterson's home runs were not cheap by any means. I think that first one might have would have killed a fan if they would have gotten in the way of it.
You know, it's kind of funny that this team, Oregon State, just something like this where they get a man aboard, the next guy gets a ball, and all of a sudden the panic signal goes off if you're the other team.
It looks like a panic signal. I can see that, but I think what it is from Minnesota side, I think they just want to talk about a little defense. We'll talk about what Oregon State might try to do. You know, there's no question that this Oregon State team will do anything they have to do to get a man over, get him in, and they want to make sure that that defense is solid and in the right positions and knowing where to go with the ball.
Good looking move by Novotny again. Good looking pitch. 79 on the gun. Little looping slider. Swing and a miss.
Ooh.
Is it me or 84 seems slower than the 79.
That thing, I was completely agreeing with you. I thought that was going to be slower than 79. It looked like about halfway there it stopped.
When the pitch before that was 79, that was listed as 84, and it looked like it was around 70.
A lot of times I think it's the hitter and how they react to it, right? Peterson jumped on his front foot, tried to hold up a swing, and then kind of flailed at it, where the pitch before he took a really good hack.
Fastball is outside. Quick throw, not in time, but a good look by the catcher, Sam Hunt.
Or was the pitch before the slider? The slider that hit the outside corner. I know, sometimes that hitter's reaction will deceive you in how fast the pitch looks. He went right back to that, though. That pitch down, he was trying to get it down again, left that up arm side. But when you had a swing like that from Peterson, I totally understand coming back to it. Honestly, I would throw it again. Trust it, throw it again. If you're going to throw it 2-2, throw it 3-2.
Peterson, good cut, fouls it off. Peterson, first 2 career home run hits yesterday. 3 for 4. Had to be a thrill for the sophomore.
Got it.
Oh, and the ball got away. And on his way to third base is Turley. He is going to be in there. Almost got him over at third, but that was a tough break for Minnesota, and Turley took full advantage.
Novotny, good move. Not his best move, but there's no question Turley was running all the way. Niels knew he had him, knew it was an easy out. He came up looking to throw the ball to second base. Missed it completely, almost whiffed on it. I actually didn't like the thing is once he missed it, he stopped and took his time to go get that ball while Turley was running around the bases. He ended up firing it to third, but called him safe on it. He should have had that ball in the third baseman's glove, Perry's glove, way earlier, and this play wouldn't have been close. They might overturn it, but if they don't, on Neal's side, once you make the mistake and you miss the ball, go get it. There's no excuse at that point. Go get that ball and make the throw.
The umpiring crew today, Sean Rakos behind home plate. Travis Renninger is over at first. Mark Buchanan at second. And Steve Mattingly, who was the home plate umpire yesterday, he is over there. And it was hard to tell there. I would love to see that one again. Bang, bang for sure.
Bang, bang from here, it looked like he had beaten it. Looked like he got under it.
So they are looking at it. Two of the umpires get to stay on the field. The other two get to go under the bowels of the stadium to go check out the replay feed.
You know they're just down there getting a little hot dogs and maybe some nachos. They're not even looking at anything. Just come out safe, out.
Kind of like your conspiracy theory there. I like that.
No, you know this crew's going down there. You know they want to get the call right. That's what I love about this.
Here they come, safe indeed.
And honestly, I don't even mind the first mistake by Niels. It happens. You're going to miss the ball, especially when you're coming up looking to throw to second base. It's the waiting to go get it. And that's the only reason Turley's safe at third is the pause instead of just running after that ball.
So E3 moves him over there. Peterson swings and misses. Big strikeout for Novotny.
Novotny really commanding that like slider on that outside corner. The Oregon State hitters are attacking it, trying to go get it, but that ball is moving so much and it's too far up and away for them to really do any damage on it. What I liked, and we definitely did not see this yesterday from New Mexico, was the Minnesota infield in on the Oregon State hitters. They're right in this ball game in the second inning. They want to keep it as a 0-0 game.
On the outside corner, good slider. Wilson Weber didn't play yesterday, the backup catcher, at least as of now.
A whole lot of cameras are up from that Weber crew. Seen 3 right now.
It's got to be exciting for him as the pitch is inside. I know you came from outside into the booth, and that's the first thing you were talking about.
Can't miss them. Weber right all over their back. It's nice. You always recognize when you got family, got friends there, and they're out here in full support.
Checks his swing. They're going to ask a no swing. Good job by Weber.
Good pitch by Novotny, though. I thought that had it. I thought that had some of the plate. Weber held it up.
3 balls, 1 strike. On the corner, 83 on the gun. Three-two. Swing and a miss. Indoor breaking pitch at 80 miles an hour. Gets him out of the inning. Huge strikeout. That's his 3rd, and we go to the 3rd. It is Minnesota nothing, Oregon State nothing. Sanderson Ford College Baseball Classic on FloBaseball. Welcome back here to Surprise, Arizona. Scott Coletti, former MLB pitcher David Artsma. Good one so far here in Surprise. Oregon State and Minnesota. No score as we go to the top of the 3rd inning. Boston Morello will be followed by Jake Perry and Weber Niels for the Golden Gophers against Jacob Komatz. Komatz deals a strike on the first pitch, 76 on the gun, just a looping breaking ball. 0-1. Started the inning 54. No balls and 2 strikes. You look at the crowd behind Komatz. And the right side's really filled out also. That's out of play.
Kmat's coming out, throwing strikes this inning. This is something that he has struggled with a little bit. Obviously, having 54 pitches in 2 innings is a ton. That's a lot. Your goal is 30 or less, or 15 every inning. 30 for the first 2 innings, 54 now. Now we're looking at, what, 58? And so that's tough. That's a lot of pitches early on. Right now, he's looking to get early outs, quick outs, throw strikes, let them swing the bat, let them ground out, hopefully get through a couple more innings like that.
Fly ball hit well to left center field. Here is the catch, and that is made by McDowell, who ran a lot of real estate to make that catch.
A lot of real estate and gave the wall a little chest bump on the way. I liked it.
There's another look at it. He keeps running, keeps running, keeps running, and I got it. And there's your chest bump.
Right on the barrio queen.
Jake Perry coming up. Perry struck out his first time. Came in batting .333.
Neal's with that really closed off stance, that front leg right on the line, tight swing. He's a tough guy to pitch to because you know you have to pitch in, but with that tight little compact swing, he wants it in too.
Pitch to Neals, down low.
Neal's walked that first at bat, now behind 3-0 is Kmat's.
It's already his 3rd walk of the season, by the way. Walked twice yesterday. That means we're talking about a guy with a very good eye.
Did you see there was a player in college baseball? Opening day got hit 7 times.
I did not.
Got hit 7 times. And it wasn't even like he was on the plate. He was off a little bit.
Hit hard, but nice play by Carraway. And Carraway, a nice low throw, gets him. There's 2 gone. So what you're telling me is that there was a player who got hit as many times as Oregon State had homers yesterday.
Yes, which is, they're both amazing.
They're both amazing numbers. 7 home runs for the Beavers yesterday. Hawkinson coming up. He was 3 for 7 yesterday. Flew out to right his first time. Hawkinson currently at 375. Came in 429. Hosanna came in from deep second to throw him out. The side's retired. 1, 2, 3. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. No score. Minnesota and Oregon State on FloBaseball. We are back here in Surprise, Arizona. Scott Galletti, David Ardsma, our crew led by Seamus Grady and Tom Farah. No score here in Surprise, Minnesota and Oregon State. You keep waiting for Oregon State to have that moment where they just explode, but Minnesota has been thwarting them, and now they're going to have to do it again, as here in the bottom of the third, Trent Carraway, the bottom of the order, followed by Travis Bazzana, the top of the order, and Mason Guerra. Carraway coming in 780. What a day he had yesterday. 2 home runs, 3 runs batted in, struck out once, and Carraway was 3 for 4.
Carraway had an incredible start to his college career. I don't think too many people would could be hoping for better than that. Great job. Now he's still sitting in that 9th spot in this order. Now, how amazing is that when you're sitting there building a lineup? You got a freshman in your 9-hole, and he does
drills
that.
it again, deep to left, make it a third home run. David, he belted one yesterday that I thought was a rocket shot. That one might have even surpassed it.
That was a missile. That was incredible. Great job coming out there. Very first pitch. Wasn't letting Novotny get deep in that count with that strikeout stuff. And he attacked it as early as he can. Now comes up Bazzana. They hit back-to-back yesterday home runs. See if he can do it again. You know he's not going to want the freshman to outdo him.
No, he remembered what it was like being that highly touted freshman just a couple of years ago. And he lines one down the right field line. Not going to be a home run, but it is going to be extra bases. He may even think for 3. Looked like he was going to take the turn. You heard the awe from the crowd. It is a double for Bazzana.
I think if there weren't no outs, if there was 2 outs or 1 out, I think he's going for it. I think he takes a chance at it. No outs. I think that's a third base coach being smart. Hey, we got the middle of this order, giving you the stop sign. But I think Travis might have had it too.
First double of the year for Bazzana. He was 2 for 5 yesterday, 2 for 2 today.
3 pitches in this inning, a home run, a double, and a ball. Now they're attacking. They're on full attack mode.
Yeah, Bazzana was looking at the dugout after the end of his run, like, why did you stop me?
Sometimes it's hard as a player. You're aggressive. You want to be running. You don't want anything to stop you from just being like running to third base, being aggressive, being an athlete. But as a coach, you have to understand the situation and know there's no point in pushing it and maybe making it into third base when you're probably going to score from second anyways if somebody gets a hit.
And that one just got away from Sam Hunt. Enough for Bazzana to take third. Now a simple fly ball scores him.
And he's on third anyways, and that's what third base coach would be looking at, and head coach would be looking at saying, look, you're going to be on third base probably anyways at some point. No big deal. Just be patient. I think they're talking about it right there too. They're going back and forth, jarring a little bit.
Told you you'd get over here. Good inward breaking ball, stopped by the catcher Hunt. 2 balls and no strikes. Guerra 0 for 2, make that 0 for 3 yesterday. Struck out here today. So he's 0 for 4 on the young season. 1-0 Oregon State, and he takes another ball for ball 3, 3-0.
You know how bad he probably wants a hit, wants to go up there and get rid of that little slide to start the year. But 3-0, I don't know if they're going to give him the green light.
Right down the middle. 87 on the pitch. So Novotny with the runner at third. Bazzana getting his lead. That got a piece of the right foot. Did you ever have that happen to you as a hitter?
I never hit.
You never hit.
No, I tried not to hit. I purposely went out of my way to make sure I didn't have to hit. I had a couple of bats in the big leagues. I had my double in Double-A, my only time ever being on base. But I avoided hitting like it was the plague. I knew what I was good at, and I knew what I wasn't good at.
That's going to be a base hit, so Guerra does get the 0 off of his back, gets his first hit in 5 tries, and gets an RBI. 2-0 Oregon State. Good bit of hitting.
Great job of hitting, patient in that at bat. Went out 3-0, 3-1, and then came up with a good hit right there. Again, we know these Oregon State batters are patient. We know they can be aggressive when they want to be. But it's almost as if, from a team perspective, they sit there and take at bats and they have a plan. That's the biggest key that you can have, is they have a plan when they walk up there.
2-0 Oregon State. There's a liner up the gap in the right center field. Staying over at second is Guerra, just playing it safely. And Micah McDowell, who started off like gangbusters yesterday with a home run in his first at bat, had a sacrifice here today. And McDowell, who came in hitting .750, is aboard with his first hit of the day. So he's 4 for 5 to start out the season. Casper took a ball. Casper struck out to end the first. Opportunity to drive in a run with a runner at second. And he drills one to center. Jurgella going back. See you later.
Absolutely got every little bit of that ball. I was about to say he was tied on the team last year with 12 home runs. And the little bird or wings as he was rounding third base, he crushed that ball to just right of dead center. No doubter.
Grady Casper. All I can say on that one is wow. 1 for 2 yesterday. Exploded on that pitch.
.0-0 became 5-0 very quickly.
And that is what Oregon State can do to you. Foul ball. Waiting on it was Perry, and waited just until it went foul before picking it up.
Hainline beats that out too. If that ball stays in there, he beats that out
easily.
I think there might have been a ball like that yesterday too. Just down the line, he would have beaten it out.
Hainline grounded out the third his first time. 0 for 2 with the run yesterday.
Nice changeup.
They got a piece of it. Strike 3. Out number 1. So you mentioned 0-0 became 5-0 with 5 players coming to the plate.
Directly in a row. Home run, double, single, home run. And it happened fast and it happened hard. None of those hits were soft.
What's the old second time around theory? Obviously, whatever they learned from the first at bat paid off.
Paid off. And you've been giving up a couple home runs this already this inning. Now you're facing the Oregon State home run leader from last year in Turley, and he was a freshman. It still blows my mind.
Yeah, Gavin Turley just unbelievable last year, and it started here in Surprise. Three-run double, 2 for 4 yesterday. Full count. Still just 1 out. Good looking pitch there to get him going. 80-mile-an-hour looper. Turley swung through it. Novotny now with 6 strikeouts.
Six strikeouts, 2 2/3 innings so far. This is going to be a big one, though. You want to stop Peterson. You want to stop this inning from continuing on. Yes, first 5 batters got on and they scored. We all know it now, but nothing you can do about it. You struck out the last 2 guys. Come right after Peterson and get him out.
The 1-1. Swing and a miss. One ball, 2 strikes. Peterson the batter, Weber on deck. And that's a breaking ball. 83-mile-an-hour slider, swung on and missed. And the inning is over. A weird inning in that Novotny strikes out the side, but Oregon State struck big before that. 5-0 Oregon State over Minnesota after 3 innings. The Sanderson Ford College Baseball Classic on FloBaseball. 5-0 Oregon State as we go to the 4th inning. New pitcher for Oregon State, as they will have Chase Reynolds, number 41, out there. Jacob Kamatz goes 3 innings. So Kamatz 3 innings of work. Gave up 2 hits, no runs. He walked 4, and he struck out 1. 14 batters faced, 66 pitches, and 34 for strikes. His team leads the game. Pitches up high to Mazenga. Ike Mazenga, followed by Sam Hunt and Brady Jurgella.
Kamatz had good stuff, but again, too many walks, got behind a couple too many times to the hitters. Didn't have a huge pitch count, but again, day 1 they got the 5-0 lead. He had a lot of pitches for the 3 innings. He did his job. He's out. He's going to take some positives from this, also learn from it, be able to come at it, and hopefully lower that pitch count early on so he can stay in the game a lot longer.
3 balls and no strikes to Mazenga. 1 for 1 with the double. Looking for his first hit, and gets a walk. Walked twice yesterday. Had his first hit today, a double, and gets his first walk of the day.
Chase Reynolds out of Lynn Benton Community College. Had 23 games last year, 7.5, 2.31 ERA, and 2 saves. Struck out 80 in 93 innings pitched.
On 1 to count to Hunt. Hunt as a pinch hitter yesterday, 0 for 1. Nothing into the count. Get a good look. Mazenga being held on over first by Guerra. Swing and a miss, and down he goes. So Jurgella coming up. Jurgella swings through it. 0-1 to count to him.
It's like that pitch has a parachute on it. Well, halfway there, just stops.
It did drop straight down, didn't it? You're right. Oh, there it is again.
Thing's nasty.
The bottom, the top, the middle, everything dropped.
It's a pretty good pitch there.
That was a good view right there. It's going to be a tough play, no play. It's a foul ball.
You can tell he has a lot of confidence. It keeps going to that pitch. I think that's all we've seen this entire at bat. You know, when somebody keeps throwing that one pitch, that is their bread and butter. That's what they're best at. And you know, this pitching staff, they know how to handle a pitching staff here at Oregon State. They've been great at it over the years. And so when somebody comes out here and they're throwing one pitch that consistently, they know it's a pitch that can miss bats. They know it's a pitch they can control it. So they tell them, pitch, throw the best pitch in these situations. You don't need to do the classic, everybody uses a fastball to set everything up. Just throw the pitch that you throw the best.
Reynolds out of West Albany High School. 6'1", 215 out of Albany, Oregon. Two seasons at Lynn Benton Community College.
Right back to it again.
Ball and 2 strikes. That was just an opportunity. He threw it, hoping it would be chased.
Yes. And I like it. 0-2. That's what you're supposed to do. Get it out of the zone. Make it close enough, though it looks like a strike.
Fastball, high chopper to second. Runner goes to second as Bazzana throws out the runners. Jack Spanier coming up. He walked his first time. Reynolds 7-5 at Lynn Benton Community College last year. 2.31 ERA. Also had 2 saves. How about this stat? Struck out 80 in 93 in the 3rd innings.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good, but when you're seeing a pitch like this, you know he has the type of pitch to make people miss, and he really relies on it.
Pitch there. .79 on the off speed. We've seen him throw some wicked pitches so far. The runner's second. Zengo over there. 5-0 Oregon State over Minnesota. Top of the 4th inning.
Throwing a rare heater. He's got a good fastball. 91, 92.
Yeah, with all the slow stuff, I'd say 91's good.
Yes.
I didn't realize that he had that.
Especially when you're only using it sparingly. It makes it look a lot faster than what it is. Woohoo.
That's another wicket breaking ball and another strike. And another strikeout. That's 2 for him. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Oregon State 5, Minnesota nothing. On FloBaseball. Bottom of the 4th we go here in Surprise, Arizona on an absolutely gorgeous Saturday afternoon. Stoccoletti along with David Ardsma, former MLB pitcher, and our entire crew here at FloBaseball. 5-0 Oregon State, just like that, with a home run by Trent Carraway. 69 degrees, by the way, and 42 with rain in Corvallis, Oregon. They just put the comparison up there to show all the fans that they made a good decision coming out here.
Good decision. I do think they got the humidity wrong, though. They had Arizona at 42% and Corvallis at 9%. They might have mixed those up. There might be a chance. But, yeah, I think they made a great choice to come down there.
When they put 19% yesterday, you totally were against that.
Might be wrong.
You were fighting that one yesterday.
I don't like it. No, this is not why we come here. We come here for sunshine and 70 degrees for spring training. Day like today, short sleeves, maybe wearing shorts, laying out in the sun. Watch some baseball, hot dogs.
And then have a MLB stadium with a roof.
Yes.
That opens on occasion. Actually opened on more occasions last year than in the past.
Yes, it was nice last year.
Yeah.
Didn't get too hot.
Sharp smash off of the bat of Weber. Good play by the shortstop Spanier to throw him out. Even on the ground outs, they're not getting cheated.
No, there have not been too many weak outs, weak ground balls, weak anything. Maybe the weakest was just the sack bunts. That's probably it. It seems like to me it's either strikeout or really hard hit ball.
The breaking pitch, and Carraway swung through it.
I think their goal right now is to keep him in the building. Not too many people have been able to do that with Carraway so far in his young college career.
Well, he led off that last inning with a wicked smash to left. The only thing that was safe about that on the first pitch was it was only a solo home run.
Yes, it was only counted as one.
Then Casper hit the 3-run dinger. He drills it again to left center field. Will it be another? It's not a home run, but it's another extra base hit. Wow.
He has 2 home runs, 2 doubles, and a single on his career so far, and none of those were soft.
He had 3 for 4 yesterday. So he is now 5 for 6. Like you said, three home runs and 2 doubles. Over the head of the batter, and it goes all the way to the backstop, and taking third is Carraway on the wild pitch.
Off-speed pitch that got away from Novotny. 76 miles an hour on the board. You know, immediately threw that ball, looked at his hand.
Bazanov out of the way, 2 for 2 today, 4 for 7 on the young season, and he doubled his last time up. I bet he's up there thinking, I can hit another home run.
Yes,
I got to keep up with this kid.
2-0 swing. Bazan is the superstar on this team. Everybody's going to be watching him, but man, Carraway is looking pretty good.
Check swing by Bazana. Looked fooled on that pitch.
A lot of times as a leadoff hitter, the biggest struggle is just having guys on base in front of you, right? Because it's the bottom of the order, 7, 8, 9. But when you have an order like this with Carraway at 9, man, he is going to have a great season as a leadoff hitter if Carraway's hitting like this all year. And Peterson in that 7 hole.
Count is now 3-1. Five 0 Oregon State here in the bottom of the 4th. Rosanna walks.
He only walked to try to get that true cycle. He needs to walk in there.
Where the batter got his first hit of the season. Solid hit to left field. Knocked in a run. So he's got his first hit, his first RBI. And he scored a run. He was the only guy who didn't score a run yesterday.
Which is amazing for a guy who had 50 runs last year, 56 RBIs. And you know he's going to be fine. You know he's going to pick it back up. His 1 game opening day. He's going to be a force also right in the middle of this lineup.
Novotny deals. That got away from the catcher, no advancement from either corner. Neal's holding on Bazzana over first. Carraway, the runner, down the line to third. Number 6, Oregon State, trying for more. Good looking pitch. 87 on the gun. Guerra just swung through that. Full count. Just one out here in the 4th inning.
Novotny up to 76 pitches, more than 76 pitches now. You kind of see it a little bit. Some of these pitches are getting a little wild. That obviously went out very wild on a changeup. Ooh.
Looked good at the beginning.
Had Bazzana leaning. He took a step towards second base. Definitely wasn't Novotny's best move. That was, again, more on Bazzana trying to probably pick up second base on his 3-2 pitch. He got back easy.
Ground ball, base hit. Walking home is the runner Carraway. The second base, Bazzana. 6-0 Oregon State. This team is just so relentless.
It never ends. This lineup is dangerous. From 1 to 9, there are no holes right here. I haven't seen a single hole in this lineup.
Which is scary. Fly ball to left field off of the bat of McDowell. Marilla makes the catch and gets it back into the infield. That is out number 1. Brady Casper coming up. Casper with a big 3-run homer.
Big one to just right of dead center over the brand new Rangers champion sign. Destroyed that ball.
Carraway a double with the third on a wild pitch and a walk. Single by Guerra, scoring Carraway. McDowell flew out, and Casper now 1-1 to count.
I know Coach Anderson wants Novotny to be able to get out of this inning. You don't want to go to the bullpen too early. Don't want to have to bring somebody in with bases loaded here. Really looking at Novotny to make a couple pitches, get Casper to get out.
Second base umpire signaling something to Novotny.
What does that mean when they're grabbing their wrist like that?
I was hoping you knew.
I don't know. I don't know everything.
John Anderson now coming out. 43rd year, John Anderson.
I don't know if Coach Anderson knew either.
Strike.
Good fastball middle in. Trying to get back in this count.
5 in the third, 1 here in the fourth, and that got away from the catcher. Both runners advanced. See how they rule it as Lozano is moving. It's ball 4 to Casper.
.89 pitches now for Novotny. Got to imagine this is his last hitter.
Hainline grounded out the third, struck out. Hainline drills a pop-up on the left side, Sun Country, and a good catch by Boston Marilla. Sounded like he hit it hard, but he hit it straight up. And that ends the inning. But another run for Oregon State, 6-0. They lead it as we go to the fifth here from Surprise. Welcome back here to Surprise, Arizona. Scott Galletti along with David Aardsma. 6-0 in favor of Oregon State. An outstanding crowd, as always, here in Surprise for Oregon State during this event. They had their annual luncheon down the right field line. Minnesota dugout to the right of us. Ground ball up the middle. That was a lasher. First pitch swinging for Brady Council.
Seeing that first pitch right out of the hand from Reynolds, driving it up the middle. Good job, coming right out. Minnesota needs some action. They need something. They need some life. Council's trying to give it to them.
Council with an outstanding single. Also doubled in his first at bat and walked. 1 for 6 yesterday, but 2 for 2 with a walk today. Marilla 0 for 2, a couple of flyouts. Two balls and no strikes. Reynolds 18 pitches so far. First hit allowed is allowed a walk and 2 strikeouts.
And now behind Marilla, 3-0. You still see him relying on that curveball, that breaking ball there. You know that's his bread and butter.
Gave up a walk. Minnesota's going to be scrappy.
Yes.
You know that.
You know they are, absolutely. And in situations like this, what you're looking for is Perry and Niels and Hokinson, the next 3 hitters. Don't try to jump on something too quick. Be patient. He just walked a guy. You let him get himself into trouble, build some good at-bats. Don't chase. Absolutely do not chase. Make him throw you really good pitches, because right now, the way Reynolds is throwing, he's struggling to find that zone.
Perry hitting .250 on the young year. Watches it go inside. 2-0. And they're doing exactly what you were saying.
Absolutely. And then Oregon State slows the game down too. Lets Reynolds slow it down, calm him down, remind him he has good stuff. You're probably gonna see him come back to that curveball, his bread and butter right there. Miss with that 1-0 fastball. If he's able to get that curveball back in the zone a couple times, they're going to see probably a lot different type of hitters from Minnesota, because then they have to swing. They have to come after it.
Right. Nothing at 2. 1-2. Oh, I read the scoreboard wrong. It's 3-0. I should look at my screen instead, where it has the correct count.
Well, it's
I read the wrong dot side, so that's what happened.
I think Reynolds would take that.
And he takes and he loads the bases.
We're definitely going to see a coach or somebody from that dugout come out, and there it is.
There is work down in the bullpen on the left field side. See if they make a switch here.
Looks like number 34, Ian Lawson, warming up for Oregon State.
There he is.
Still in the early stages, though. This looks like his first actual throw off the mound. He was doing some grow hops.
6-0 in favor of Oregon State.
Exactly what you want if you're Minnesota. Yes, you're down 6-0, but right now, bases loaded, no outs, right in the middle of the order up. This is where you got to make it. You got to make Oregon State pay. Perfect. Patience.
Niels 0 for 1 with a walk today. 1 for 5 yesterday. Tuno. Look at 2 of the 3 runners. That's a strike with the knees.
I'm surprised we haven't seen Counsell at third base. Try to get Reynolds' eyes over at him. Try to do some fakes, moving around a lot. The third baseman is way off the bag and Caraway. Try to get some action down there. Try to get his eyes to be looking at you and not home plate.
Little blooper, and that's going to be an easy play for the first baseman, Guerra. 1 away. Good pitch.
Great pitch. Got it in on Niels.
Hey, you know how effective it is to jam a batter.
Oh, absolutely. And a lot of times people are afraid with these metal bats to go in on hitters. You have to trust it. You have to go in and try to get in, because it establishes every other pitch. If you're just sitting on the outside corner all the time with metal bats, you are going to get hurt.
6-0 Oregon State. Top of the 5th inning with a 1-1 count. Counsell the runner at third, Murillo at second, Perry at first. Hokanson at the plate with 1 out. And takes a good looking pitch for a ball. 2-1, and the crowd from Oregon State doesn't like it.
No, I would not either if I was Oregon State. I thought it was a pretty good pitch.
333 you saw, came in batting .429. That's a strike. Inward breaking ball, 80 miles an hour, just froze him. Two. Got him.
Ooh.
Just caught the corner at 79. Perfect placement pitch.
Nothing you can do as a batter with that ball. I know he's up there. He doesn't want to be taking it. Hokanson does not want to take that pitch, but there's nothing you can do with it. Just got the
Movement on
corner.
that thing. Three Ks for Reynolds now. Mazenga at the plate trying to get at least a run, if not 2 home. Now we're going to have another meeting at the hill. And I think we're going to have a new pitcher coming in. So with a 1-0 count, a new pitcher coming in as Chase Reynolds will leave. 6-0. Oregon State over Minnesota on FloBaseball. Ian Lawson, a new pitcher for Oregon State with a 6-0 lead against Minnesota. Lawson, right-hander. We'll see what he can do here. A bases loaded situation with 2 outs. Just trying to get that 1 out to get out of the inning.
3.5 ERA last year, 36 innings pitched, 46 punch outs, and only 17 walks. Big boy, big 6'7", 246. He's not a small man.
Career high strikeouts is 3 times. Last he did against USC last season. Deals a strike right out of the get-go, and it's 0-1.
Well, 93 on the outside corner. Good stuff right there.
Zenga, a double and a walk. Tried to get that line, but just outside the right field line.
How about that? You come in with a 1-0 count and immediately go 1-2. That is tough. That is one of the toughest situations you can as a reliever, is you come in behind the count with bases loaded, 2 outs, and now you're 1-2.
Two and two. Got a weird question. Just because he didn't start the at-bat, he strikes the guy out. Who gets the strikeout?
He gets a strikeout. If he walks him, I believe it goes to Reynolds.
Yeah, I knew Reynolds got something if it was the proper situation.
It's a big slider in on Mazenga, almost hit him, but it swept right over the entire plate.
Listen to this crowd once again. 3-2. Got him.
Ooh.
Swing and a miss. Nasty pitch. 81-mile-an-hour dipping slider. And he gets out of a bases loaded jam. So we go to the bottom of the 5th. 6-0 Oregon State on FloBaseball. Welcome back here as we have a new pitcher, Tyler Hemish. Hemish, 6'1", 195, a freshman out of Sartell, Minnesota, Sartell High School. Novotny out of the game. We'll see what Hemish can do against this Oregon State lineup. Gavin Turley, followed by Tice Peterson and Wilson Weber.
Great opportunity here for a freshman pitching against Oregon State. This is a chance to make a huge impression on your pitching coach, your head coach. Show them you have what it takes against a lineup like this. You have to relish and love these opportunities. And he just tried to throw that 100 miles an hour, pulled it just a little bit, just a little outside. 94. First one in there was 91 at first strike.
Two and one. Fly ball hit pretty well to right center field. Going back is the right fielder Hokinson, and he hauls it in.
That ball looked like it stayed up forever.
Off the bat, I think most of the Oregon State fans thought that Turley had himself a 4-bagger.
Absolutely, the way that ball was staying up in the air. But again, he hit it to one of the deepest parts of the ballpark, and it just stayed up too long, allowed the right fielder to get under it.
Right in front of the surprise sign. Tice Peterson, 2 strikeouts today. After having a day yesterday with 2 home runs and 3 RBIs.
Amish, pretty good stuff here. Obviously, you're seeing 92, 94 from a fastball, 85 with a lot of sweeping movement on that slider. Freshman, big arm, good stuff. One thing you always see out of freshmen, though, is can they relax? Can they take a breath? Can they slow the game down and just pitch and not try to throw it as hard as they humanly can every single time? Command the zone.
To the shortstop. In time, Spanier just got the throw in there. Good dig by Weber Niels. So Niels made that play happen.
Little discussion here. The umpires, I don't know if they want to look at it. I thought he kept his foot on the bag. I think that's what they're probably talking about.
They're going to look at it. Interesting. Sure, we'll see the play here soon enough, and we'll see what they're looking to see. Looked routine. This day and age, with the replay in effect, nothing's routine.
Well, that ground ball to Spanier, he got it easy. It was right to him. When he made the throw, he threw it to his left. To Niels' right, he leaned, he got all the way across the bag. Made a tough catch, but I thought he made it from here. At the moment of the play, it looked like he kept his foot on the bag, but this great camera crew are going to get a good replay for these umpires.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Like I said, we thought one was going to be overturned earlier, and it wasn't. Simply because the crew's right on it. Get a look here. As soon as we have an opportunity, you look at the crowd there, though. Outstanding crowd. It's not just numbers, also they're loud. Like when they're urging that strikeout on 3 and 2 and they get it and they go berserk. That's a good crowd.
And that was a big moment too with the Komats. I remember when the crowd got going, picked him up. He needed that at that moment. He was kind of struggling, and it definitely picked him up.
And they did the same thing to end the 5th on Mazenga to get out of that bases loaded situation. So yes, both those situations, it happened. I guess the umps just wanted to watch TV.
They just want to go hang out. They got to finish their nachos and popcorn.
Here's the look. And, oh, that's why they were asking, because he was moving, but he kept it right flush against the bag.
Good job. Good job
But
by
the
Niels.
movement, I think, is why they said, hey, he moved his foot. Let's see what we can get.
Absolutely. I'd want to look at that, too, if I was Oregon State.
But you could see his foot pressed. And, again, great job by the crew to get that. 2-0 to Weber. Six nothing to score. Fastball up high. Game a couple of hours old. 6-0. We're in the fifth. Weber looking for his first hit of the season.
Good cut there by Weber. Another fastball up.
Tyler Hamish delivers. Fouled off. You know, last year, Oregon State did strike out a bunch, 543 times, but they also draw a good number of walks. Last year, 373. They'll work you, and he got a walk there. Strike call to Caraway. I go back to one of the comments that you made a little while ago about there's just not a hole in this lineup, not an easy out, not an easy at bat.
No, not an easy at bat. And guys can attack you in a lot of different ways. We've seen this whole lineup attack early. You've seen them be patient. You see them work with the counts, work with what the pitcher's giving them. And that's what you're going to see out of this Oregon State.
833 he's batting right now.
That's not bad. Not a bad way to start off the college career. But when
After
you're
starting out 780, no less.
Yes. When you're looking at your 9-hole hitter hitting 833. I know it's only 2 games, but man, it has been a pretty impressive start. But this Oregon State team, there's no holes right now. And then again, it almost looks like when you have a flow like this, when somebody goes out, who cares if somebody strikes out? The next man up. The next man's going to get the job.
Beautiful breaking ball. That one just came in and dropped. And that is the inning. We go to the 6th inning. Nothing across for Oregon State. 6-0. Oregon State over Minnesota on FloBaseball. Welcome back here to Surprise Stadium, Surprise, Arizona. Scott Coletti, David Arnsma. A 6-0 ball game in favor of Oregon State. Home run by Trent Caraway to lead off what ended up being a 5-run third. And it was Mason Guerra with an RBI single, as Guerra would single through the left side to left field. That made it 2-0. Then a 3-run blast by Brady Casper made it 5-0. Bottom of the 4th inning, a single as well. And that's where we stand. Guerra with 2 RBIs on the day. Ground ball sharply, and that is off of the first baseman Guerra's glove. We talked about him offensively, and he had the misfortune of taking that play. And safe at first is Sam Hunt. Ready Jurgella coming up, and Jack Spanier. But that ball just ate him up.
Ate him up. Should have been an out. Pitcher was coming over to cover for the third time in the last 3 innings. All 3 innings, they've had a runner on base to start the inning. Actually, the only inning they didn't have somebody on base, the opening batter on base, was the 3rd inning when Perry flew out to center. Every other inning, Minnesota's had the first batter on base. They just haven't been able to capitalize on that. So right here, obviously you get that error by Guerra. Minnesota has to come through. They have to step up and find a way to make it hurt.
Two and one is the count to Jurgella. Flew out to left and grounded out to second. Three and one.
Do you give him the green light?
Probably.
I think I do too.
He looked all the way and thought that it was ball 4 and takes a strike.
I think he was hoping for ball 4 a little bit more than thinking it actually was ball 4.
Okay.
think it's
I like
good.
the way you put
Yes.
it. Yeah.
He's trying to sell it a little bit. That was a great pitch.
That's ball 4.
That definitely was.
So Lawson with a man at first and second against him. Ball 1.
Good pullback. Good job right there. Not trying to fight, not trying to get a ball and trying to put it down.
Tuno.
I think this would be a good time if the catcher would just go out there, slow the game down a little bit, talk to Lawson.
Reno. 90 on the gun, but just missed inside. Bases loaded.
Here it is again, bases loaded. Again, last inning, Minnesota was unable to finish this off, wasn't able to get any runs across the board. Let's see what they can do now. Council's up now, who's been ripping the ball. Had a double his first at bat down that line. Base hit, that's his third at bat in the 5th inning, right up the middle.
Top of the 6th inning. A 6-0 game. 1-1, bases loaded. 2-1.
How about this for Oregon State? 9 walks so far this game as a pitching staff. 9 walks, only 5 strikeouts. They've been putting Minnesota hitters on base, but Minnesota has not been able to finish through with that.
to that point, they've left on 9 men.
And they're 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position.
Play to the plate. They get 1. And they get a big one. Smart play, Caraway, thinking home plate all the way.
Good play there by Caraway. Backhanding that ball up the line with a great throw to home. Smart throw, hard throw too, throwing across the runner with the runner moving down the line. That is not an easy throw to make.
Marilla now the batter. Strike again. '83 on the gun. See what Lawson comes back with. Fly ball well to right field, but Casper is there, tagging up, and coming in to score is Jurgela, taking third as Spanier to make it 6-1. Sac fly to right field by Boston Marilla.
Good job getting that ball to the outfield, getting it deep, getting that run in. Again, I know it gets us to 2 outs. Oregon State's fine with it. But if you're Minnesota, you got to take it. You got to start with 1. You can't score 6 unless you get with 1.
Second RBI of the year for Marilla, scoring the man in your picture. That is going to be in the center field, a base hit, scoring another run. Perry coming up with a base hit for an RBI. For Perry, his second RBI.
Perry coming up big there. Now that's the first real hit we've seen with runners on base for Minnesota. Yes, we had the sac fly by Marilla, but that's the first hit we've seen in a while by Minnesota that actually mattered and was a base hit with runners in scoring position.
Eels took a ball.
Think in this position right now, 3-0, got to make him take. You've got to take, maybe create a little action there at first base.
Took all the way, makes it 3-1.
Now just look for your pitch. You know what pitch is yours to hit. When you hear people say look for your pitch, what that means is the hitter knows what the best pitch is for them. That's the pitch you're looking for, and then you can't miss it.
That's a full count. Three balls and 2 strikes. Crowd coming alive like they have a couple of times.
Getting going. Not as much energy in this one after giving up a couple runs.
Walked him.
The 10th walk given up by Oregon State today in 6 innings. Sorry, 5 2/3.
And a third by Lawson. Waiting to see the gate. And they're going to go to the gate. So that'll be it for Lawson. Crowd giving him a round of applause. After the Niels walk, Hokanson will come up against the new pitcher, and we'll talk about him in a moment on FloBaseball. New pitcher for Oregon State. Kelho will be out there. Nelson Keljo, excuse me. I keep forgetting that. I'm used to the J being silent, but
The soft J.
Coach Canham has always pointed out it's Keljo, not Kelho.
Last year, 5.4 ERA, 21 innings pitched with 32 strikeouts, 17 walks, so it does have a little command issues. I saw his first warm-up pitch at 95. That was 93 in there for a strike. Obviously has a great fastball. Let's see if he can command it and command that zone right now against Minnesota.
Big fastball, 94. Quickly 0-2. Oh for 3 for Hokanson, and strike 3. Well, there's the crowd.
93, 94, 95.
Hokanson strikes out, ends the inning. A couple of runs across for Minnesota, and Oregon State still leads it. Welcome back here to Surprise, Arizona. Bottom of the 6th for Oregon State. Good bunt. This is going to be a tough one. This is going to be safe. Well, Bazzana showing that he can hit for power and he can bunt.
Can do everything. Well, I think he's wanting to show all the scouts what he can do. They're all here watching him. He just wants to show him off a little bit and all of his skills. Great bunt, and that's one of those things when you go out and you give up 2 runs, just like Oregon State just did, the next thing you want to do is take them back. At least take 1 back. What you do there, you kill any single bit of momentum Minnesota has, and a great way to do that is get somebody on base quick, just like Bazzana did. If they're going to give you the bunt, they're going to give you just a first base. Take it.
Strike call. 1-1 is the count. Bunt down the third baseline by Bazzana, got him aboard. That's a foul ball.
Bazzana over there trying to time Hemich. You can see he's trying to get that little jump lead at first base. You know he's had a ton of stolen bases last year, and I know he wants to add to it this year. Yep, he's gone.
Throw is going to be close, but not in time. Bazzana steals it.
He's trying to time him up. You can see it. You can see it happening. The pitch before it, I thought he had him timed, but that one he took off.
Second today, 2 of 3 stolen base-wise for Bazzana. Now Guerra, who has a couple of RBIs today, a chance for another. Niels puts it away. Micah McDowell now coming up. McDowell is sacrificed. Single. Scored on a home run by Casper. Flew out to left. Balk is going to be called.
Oh. Little confusion over there from the shortstop. I think they're maybe trying to time a pick, trying to do something. The pitcher looked at him. Shortstop did a little action, a little movement there, and that kind of threw the pitcher off.
Bazzana now down the line to third as we have a visit coming from the pitching coach. What do you think the talk is here?
Again, strategy, trying to figure out what you're going to do with the runner on third base now. I think they're trying to sew up what happened there at shortstop just so he knows. But right now they're looking at this. You got a lefty up. You got an important run on third base, right? You're down 4, but you don't want to be down 5. Again, we talked about that momentum. Holding him there would be huge momentum for Minnesota to keep that going, especially after getting a bunch of guys on base in the 5th, a bunch of guys on base in the 6th. They want to keep that momentum going. You have to hold them up. So there you see now they have the infield in. They're playing to hold that runner because that runner means the world to them.
Ty McDevitt made that visit. 1-0 to Micah McDowell.
And it's also not the worst thing, again, if he ends up getting on base, on first base, if you walk him, you don't have to give in to him. You can create force outs at second base, create a double play option. So it's not the worst thing if you pitch to him. What you can't do, though, is give him an easy ball to hit, put it in the outfield.
Flags out in right center field, absolutely motionless right now. Started off with a little breeze. Bring that up because we talked about how left field, right field to an extent also yesterday, but left field was murder's row for home runs.
Flying out.
And this guy hit it the opposite way
Yes,
for a
he
home
did.
run.
Yes, he did. You can see a lot of these left-handed batters had that power to go that opposite field, but those balls in left field were flying out yesterday. Get it up in the air that way, and it's gone. Not quite the same today.
Drop the end of the bat and
Perfect.
checking the runner at third, and stepping on the bag is the first baseman, Niels. For the second time today, they play up and they get the out.
Get the out. That's the big out, especially getting behind that count 3-0. I'm surprised they kept going at him. I didn't just put him on first base, but you get that out right there. That's huge. Now the infield can step back a little bit, not put as much pressure on themselves to have to get an out at home plate, and they can just play standard back defense.
Casper, who walked his last time up, has a strikeout and that towering home run to left, 3-run shot in the third.
If I'm Hemish, that slider right there, that's working. I'm going to try to go back foot with that again. He went with it. I think it just stayed over the plate. I think the catcher wanted a back foot, but he'll take that strike right now. There's no point to give him anything else. Just don't get it in the zone. Put this ball right below the zone. Let your catcher block it. Maybe heat her up might be the only other pitch I'd go with. Again, kind of left it out.
Ball and a strike.
Got to finish that pitch. So it's 0-2 with a good hitter with the runner on third base. Finish that pitch down.
Outside. Minnesota fans making some noise.
Definitely out, though. They want it. I think they want it a lot more than they know that it was a ball.
Good cut by Casper. He's trying to get a piece on it, and he did. So it's 2-2. 2 gone here in the bottom of the 6th.
I think right here you go right back to that slider. Set up down and in. Tell him to finish it. Give him that little look. Maybe hit your pad, hit your glove. Get down and in. You showed him a good heater. You got him back locked in the zone. Oh, come right back with it.
And able to hold on to it was the catcher, Hunt.
There it is. Good pitch. Would have liked that a couple pitches ago. A couple pitches ago, he swings at it.
So now the crowd coming alive to urge their batter to get aboard.
Yes.
Got him looking. Casper looking all the way. It's strike 3. Big strikeout. And we go to the 7th. Is Minnesota trailing Oregon State 6-2. Sanderson Ford College Baseball Classic on FloBaseball. Surprise Arizona. It's the 2024 Sanderson Ford College Baseball Classic here on FloBaseball. Scott Coletti, former Major Leaguer David Aardsma, our entire crew here at Flow Sports. 6-2 is the score in favor of Oregon State. They had a 5-spot in the third and a run in the fourth. 2 coming across for Minnesota in the sixth.
Keljo back out there for Oregon State. Pumped in a 93, 94, 95 mile an hour fastballs to finish the sixth inning. Starting out right with 2 strikes again, so he's thrown 5 strikes in a row. This is exactly what Oregon State's been needing and what they haven't had today. 10 walks from Oregon State as the pitching staff. Keljo, though, out there and just pumping good heaters in there.
Just missed. You hear the reaction of the crowd. He just missed that. And he looks at his little band on his wrist and says, okay, what do I throw next?
Another heater. Here we go. The way this Minnesota offense is swinging right now against Keljo, there's no point to look at it. Just keep pumping strikes in there. Keep pumping your fastball. Maybe Larson had a pretty good swing on that. That might be the first time I go to something else. And he did.
No swing. And 94 going to 81.
81,
that
was
looks
good.
like about a 30-mile-an-hour difference.
Yes.
I mean, it's ridiculous. His heater is coming in there and coming in quick.
Electric. Little in.
Jake Larson, the batter. Comebacker up the middle, knocked down by the second baseman Bazana, and that's all he can do. Larson is safe at first.
Good job by Larson taking that ball right up the middle, working it to a 3-2 count. Not a whole lot Bazana could do. I mean, again, he could have made that play, but it would have been very, very tough for him.
It's ruled an infield single. Fly ball to right field. Casper lunges and puts it in the glove. On that play, I'm not sure if he was trying to make that look tougher.
I think that sun's starting to play a little bit in there, right? If sun's starting to play a little bit, maybe the wind a little higher might have picked that up a little bit. But for the 6th time this game, Minnesota had the lead runner on base.
Impressive.
Especially only 2 runs to speak for. So what that's showing me is, yes, they've been getting into a lot of trouble, but they haven't been able to finish it off and get those runs across.
Boston Morella, a sac fly. Jake Perry with an RBI single. A 1-1 count. That's a nice pitch. 84, the way he's throwing the fastball, that 84 looks like it's coming in at 50.
Looks like a completely different, totally different look. It looks like it's so much slower. That's the power of having a fastball where you're throwing for strikes too. Yeah.
That one was 85, and again, 85 is some pitchers' best fastball.
Right, that we've seen. He's done a great job using all 3 of his pitches so far.
So an unbelievable display of pitching there. It's almost like when he wants to, as the runner goes, the pitch is outside, and throwing a little off balance was Weber, and a stolen base. But it almost seems like he feels like if he needs to, he can kick it into another gear.
Oh, without a doubt, there is another gear there, especially when you have fastball this fast. having that extra gear is important as a reliever. You know, what I always say is you want to pitch at 90%, but then be able to pop them in when you want to, when you need to. Early in the count, that's your 90%. A lot of times early in the game is when starters should be at 80, 90%, and then as the game goes on, they pick it up. Relievers, first pitch might be 90%. Just get that good strike in there, good fastball strike, then let it eat after that. That's giving your fastball different looks. You can do the same thing with your off-speed pitches, flip them in there for strikes, and then try to have that strikeout pitch where you crank it a little bit more at the end, you pull it down just a little bit more at the end to get that swing and miss.
Another good-looking pitch at 93. A live arm lefty. Nelson Keljo.
94 up and in. Get out of the way.
Here comes the crowd into the game. Full count. Got him looking outside corner.
Wanted that walk so bad. Got the punch out.
Keljo, another strikeout. We go to the 7th inning stretch. A 6-2 ball game. Oregon State, number 6 in the country, against Minnesota on FloBaseball. We are back here at Surprise, Arizona. Scott Coletti along with David Arnsma. As you look at the reaction of the home run, as he knew it all the way, that was Caraway who got things going in a 5-run 5th. The 3-run shot by Casper, that had this place going. And then it was another RBI. Minnesota coming back with a couple of runs of their own. And here we are, 6-2. Impressions of what you're seeing?
What I'm seeing right now is opposed to yesterday from Oregon State, where they just came out big boppers. Yes, we got the 2 big home runs. But we're seeing Minnesota, when you're actually throwing them strikes, forcing them to swing the bat like they're doing. They've only walked 4 guys. You're seeing an offense that's having to slow down, battle up there at the plate, and they're still doing a great job of handling this Minnesota pitching staff, but they're not breaking out like they did yesterday, right? Get ahead, throw strikes, force them to swing. Minnesota, on the other hand, what I'm seeing, just not being able to finish through the innings. They're getting guys on base. 6 out of their 7 innings, they've had a runner, the first runner on base, but the only 2 runs to speak for it. So what I'm seeing from Minnesota is they have to get guys on, get them over, and then get them in. Find ways to get them in. They've had bases loaded multiple times, just haven't been able to finish that out.
Hainline walks. Elijah Hainline 0 for 3, gets a walk here in the 7th, and Turley will come up. Turley walked, struck out, and flew out to right. Up and in. Second game today, we will have University of New Mexico and Cal State Bakersfield. As you look at Turley, 333 so far in the young 2-game season. Fastball in there. 89 on the gun. Another strike. This time he slowed it up a little bit. 80.
A little bit more movement on it, slowed it up, gave a different look. Went back to it, but this time threw it right off that front hip. The last one was the 1-1 pitch was down and away for the strike. That one was right off that hip, made him swing right over it.
Oregon State with 5 in the third. 1 in the fourth. Dallas Macias, the pinch hitter, coming up.
Got in there pinch hitting yesterday, had a hit.
Ball got away. Game run's going to take the extra base.
Couple of those from Niels. Got to hold on to that ball. Got to watch that in that glove. And I think right there he thought he might have been able to tag him out. Hainline trying to jump, doing that same jump lead, the same jump start that Bazana was doing when he stole the base. Right at that moment he jumped, he had picked, the pitcher had picked, but Niels just taking that eye off that ball. Got to catch that, man. Pitchers need to be able to trust that they can pick off there with full force everything they have, and that your first baseman's going to back them up.
Hamish, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts so far. It's a game where you got 10 Oregon State strikeouts. We mentioned last year they walked a lot, 373, 543 strikeouts. Team batting average 294. Team on base percentage 408. A slugging percentage of 486.
Pretty good. It's good. And they were young too, and now a lot of those guys are grown up, you know, and that's the thing about it. Even with all those good numbers, they were young, and now they're here a year later and better.
Down the left field line, and it will reach the seats. That hit him. Wilson Weber coming up. So Macias takes one for the team. Just missed for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Caraway a home run to lead off the third. Guerra single to left to make it 2-0. 3-run homer to right by Brady Casper. Guerra another RBI in the bottom of the fourth. Then a sac fly to right by Boston Marilla. And Jake Perry, an RBI single in the top of the sixth, making it 6-2. With one out, Weber up there with runners at first and second. Again, you're talking about Oregon State want to come back and negate those runs they just gave up. Unearned runs, no less. On the ground could be two. Spanier goes to Council, goes over the first, and they get the double play. As easy as 6-4-3. Spanier to Council to Niels. We go to the eighth. Oregon State 6, Minnesota 2 on FloBaseball. And we are back here in Surprise, Arizona. They put up on the screen the temperature here in Surprise, 71 degrees, 26% humidity. And in Corvallis, it's raining, 43%, 86% humidity. You look at what you see right here. Great crowd, big crowd. That's what they planned for. They make a little vacation here in February, getting ready for spring. And the folks here in Surprise coming out from Corvallis, or some that are alumni from out here that decide to come out to the game.
Oh, I'm sure there's probably plenty of alumni out here. And then they go from here after this tournament, go down to Arlington, Texas for a tournament down there, so they don't even have to go home. Stay more out of that rain. And then they go home, open up with North Dakota State.
Brady Council, the batter, he takes a ball. 1 ball, no strikes to Council, followed by Boston Marilla and Jake Perry. 8th inning. Nelson Keldro's still out there.
Keldro doing a good job on his 3rd inning of work. Lots of strikes. He has 3 strikeouts right now.
Right field. Easy pickings for Brady Casper. 1 away. Keldro 1 2/3 innings right now. I bring that up. His career high in innings came last year against Utah, 2 1/3.
With his stuff, the way he's throwing right now, there's no doubt. I'm going to want him to see. I want to see what we have from him. Get him comfortable. He's having a lot of success right now. By far, probably the best pitcher of the day we've seen from Oregon State. Most consistent, without a doubt, and the best, probably just pure stuff. Let him get out there. Let him throw. See how far we can get in this inning. If he gets into trouble, cool, take him out. But right now, give him a good pat on the back.
Right.
And thank you for throwing as well as he has.
To the gap and knocked down by the shortstop Hainline. I don't know if he would have had a play anyway.
No, don't think so.
It's going to be a single for Marilla.
Marilla's moving right out of the box, is moving hard. You could tell he looked up right when that ball hit his glove. and he was so far down the line, he would have been safe anyways.
Get another look at it as it was knocked down by the shortstop Hainline. Didn't have a play, but Marilla, out of your picture, was motoring up first base line. Perry lashes one into left field, a base hit, and that gets by Turley, but no advancement.
Perry's been huge for this offense right now. That moved his batting average up to 400, 2 for 4 on the day, a couple base hits.
It didn't go that far past Turley. Turley has a good arm, so they weren't going to chance it. But first and second, one man out. Weber Niels is at the plate.
Going to come out and give a little talk to Keljo. Again, remind him he's been pitching good. First runners on base. Marilla on a ground ball, an infield ground ball. So don't get too down on yourself. He had a great job. Came in that 5th inning, did well. Great 6th inning, or came in the 6th inning, pitched a good 7th inning, and now out in the 8th.
So 1 2/3 innings for him. We'll take a break and come right back with the new pitcher on FloBaseball. Welcome back here to Surprise, Arizona. New pitcher in the game for Oregon State. Kyle Scott, the new pitcher. Scott, a right-hander. Keljo gave it his all. And the thing about Keljo, everything he was doing was explosive.
Great stuff, great fastball, great off-speed pitches. It was impressive the way he came in and pitched and really picked up this Oregon State pitching staff. Again, I think he had 4 strikeouts, no walks, especially on a day when they've had 10 walks as a staff. Great outing, great stuff. I want to see how he finishes out this season because, man, he's going to be somebody to watch.
Weber Keels now up there. Keels takes a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. First and second, the runners. There's 1 gone. Top of the 8th inning, a 6-2 ball game. Good off speed.
A great off-speed pitch there. 84 miles an hour, was 94 in his first fastball. Came from Cal Poly. It was 3.9 with a 4.49 ERA over 104 career innings at Cal Poly.
Strike 2. 85 there. Comebacker towards the middle, base hit. They're going to wave the runner around, and here comes Marilla to score to cut the lead in half at 6-3 on a base hit by Niels.
Good job by Neal staying in on that ball. That off-speed pitch down and in, keeping his hands in. He's got that short little swing, keeping his hands in, driving that ball up the middle, getting the RBI.
Third for him in 2 days here on the young season. Murillo scores. Perry to second. Chris Hokinson now the batter. He's 0 for 4 after going 3 for 7 yesterday.
A tale of 2 days for him right now, but I'm sure he wants to break out of that. 95 from Scott. They got some arms in that bullpen. I know we were probably all expecting it. They got some arms, and now we're starting to see who are the guys that are going to step up and take those big-time roles.
In the air to left field, should be playable. Turley is there and makes the catch. Jacob Kmat started 3 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 4 walks, 1 strikeout, 66 pitches, 34 strikes. Reynolds went an inning and 2/3, 1 hit, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, 35 pitches, 16 strikes. Then Lawson, 1 inning, 1 hit, 2 unearned runs, 3 walks, 1 strikeout, 33 pitches, 15. As that got away and the runners move up. And Keljo 1 2/3 innings, 3 hits, nothing across until now. And he struck out 3, 29 pitches, 19 were strikes.
Yeah. Definitely the best out of everybody as far as strike throwing. And he had just great stuff.
Good slider, 85. Larson got an infield hit. Batting for Mazenga in the DH spot. Crowd coming alive. 2 outs here in the 8th. A run across. Got away and good save. No advancement by the runners.
Scott really trying to finish off this inning, trying to make sure Larson had no chance to hit that ball. Got it down, but it was definitely way too far out.
Here comes the 2-2. Fastball up high. 94 again.
Didn't miss by much. Good heater right there. He is hard to hit, hard to sit in there, be comfortable. Larson is giving a great at bat, though.
Check and he wins. That ends the inning. Big out with runners in scoring position as they get a run and they leave 2. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. It is 6-3. lot of stuff going on here. Back here in Surprise, Arizona, you look at Arlington, Texas today on FloBaseball. Shriners Children College Showdown, Oklahoma and Tennessee. That is at 7 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Mountain Time. And of course, Flo has this action as well. So the first pitch coming up at 7 o'clock for that one. A little bit of distance between here and Arlington, Texas. But with Flo, it seems like we're right next door.
Yeah, what is it, 885 miles I think they had on there?
Yeah.
Tennessee should be good. Number 9 in the country. Another top 10 team. Should be a great game.
Yeah, last year they turned that event into a multiple week event. And as you mentioned, Oregon State's going to be in it next week.
Yes. That is a neat event. And of course, Flo Sports will have that.
Had a chance to do the first one in 2021 when they were just barely letting people. It was actually the first event the fans were allowed after COVID.
Well, that's neat. You did it?
Yep. First baseball event. So it was the Big 12 against the SEC that particular year. Had some top teams. You had Ole Miss, you had Mississippi State. Caraway the batter, 2 for 3. Caden Capamaccio, the pitcher. That one got a big piece of Caraway. That's got to hurt. I mean, look where the ball ended up. It's out in right center field.
Yeah, that did not feel good.
It's not just a ball that rolls towards the dugout. It's all the way out in right center field. So,
and you know when that happens, it's hitting something hard. It's hitting some bone on something.
Yeah,
let's watch it here.
Ooh, got him on the knee.
Right above the knee, maybe.
Oh, yeah, that's a bad spot.
That is not comfortable.
And like I said, it's not just it hitting him there. It's the velocity of it to knock the ball all the way out in shallow right center field.
And picking up velocity off of your leg, that cannot feel comfortable.
Capamaccio, the pitcher. He's going to walk it off or run it off.
Caraway does not want to come out of this game. The way he's swinging, I wouldn't want him to come out of this game.
I wouldn't want him out of this game either. A home run to get the scoring going in the third, at a double, and he scored the last Oregon State run in the fourth. Scored it on the single by Guerra. Big swing and a miss.
This old sinker, 91-mile-an-hour sinker coming into Caraway. I'm sure in the back of his mind, he saw that ball kind of moving down and in, and he was already thinking about how much his leg hurts.
It's one of those, you make that big swing, you say, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, I don't want to foul this back off it again. Capamaccio made 11 appearances last year as a true freshman, posting a 1.3 ERA, sorry, 1.3 record and a 10.55 ERA. Has 91, 92, a lot of sink on that ball.
How about the job that Hemish did? 3 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. 58 pitches, 31 strikes.
Did an incredible job. Again, we've been talking about Oregon State's offense this whole time, and what we wanted to do, see out of Minnesota, was somebody to come in early, throw strikes, get ground balls, force this Oregon State batters to not get on base easily and to not be able to big swing early. And you know what? It might not have been the starter with Novotny being able to do it, but Hemish did. He did a great job, and he's keeping Minnesota in this game from his outing.
Bazana fouled it off, keeping alive, 3-2. Six to 3 in favor of Oregon State. Got him.
First time this game somebody's been able to put Bazana back onto the bench. He has been up 5 times and 4 times on base.
Capamaccio getting 2 strikeouts here quickly. Breaking ball missed. 1 ball, no strikes to Guerra. 2 hits, 2 RBIs today. Big cut, and it's a 1-1 count.
That sinker is moving a lot. You're seeing the swings from Oregon State right now, you know, from Bazana, Caraway, and now Guerrera. You're seeing that sinker and just moving all over the place. Hit 93 right there. There, obviously, it's tough to see.
Capamaccio is a junior in high school. Unanimous Pitcher of the Year award in his conference. And he strikes out the side. Quite an inning for him.
Yes.
We go to the 9th inning. Hunt, Jurgella, and Spanier spot. The final hope for Minnesota. 6-3 Oregon State on FloBaseball. We are back here in Surprise, Arizona. Scott Coletti, along with David Arnsman. Glad to have you along here on FloBaseball. 6-3 the score. Top of the 9th inning. Sam Hunt will lead things off. 1-0 the count to Hunt. Kyle Scott, who got out of a big jam in the 8th inning, is in there.
Hunt has his work cut out for him, Scott. Great stuff. You can see just an electric fastball, great slider.
And right around home plate also. 2-0 pitch is fouled off. 2-1. Oregon State with 5 in the 3rd inning. Homer by Caraway. Guerra with an RBI single. 3-run homer to right center by Brady Casper. Then in the 4th inning, a single by Guerra made it 6-0. Marilla, sac fly in the top of the 6th. Perry a single up the middle, made it 6-2. And Niels a single up the middle in the 8th.
Good confidence in that slider right there. I know you got 94, 95 in your back pocket, but being able to throw 3-1 slider makes it very tough on hitters.
Full count. Just missed. The problem there, David, that pitch was angling right towards the hitter.
That was coming in.
It started over the plate.
Yeah, well, you hear the crowd. That crowd noise was happening before the pitch even was caught. They were cheering, wanting it to be a strikeout, expecting a strikeout. But that ball was pulled in on him. Yeah, like you said, it was coming
the slide on it. It looked like it was going right toward the plate, and whoop,
and just
went
kept
on the
going
inside corner.
Yeah. We'll pinch runner at first base.
Scott with his first walk.
And a pinch hitter at the plate, Berkland. Berkland 1 for 2 yesterday with an RBI and 2 walks.
So Ellis, the pinch runner. Berkland takes a ball. 3-0. Tristan Ellis, the runner. Drew Berkland, upright stance, and he takes a strike on the outside corner.
Home plate umpire getting a little fessed up with the Minnesota bench.
That's ball 4.
12th walk of the day.
Second for Scott. Yeah, Kamatz had 4 walks, Reynolds 3, Lawson 3, Keljo 0, and Scott with 2.
I think if you're Oregon State, you want Keljo to come on back here right now.
If you could. Yeah, that'd be something. So 2 walks. And oh, by the way, David, the tying run is at the plate.
Tying runs at the plate in Spanier. Then you want to get, obviously you're going to get to the top of your order, top of your lineup and Council Marilla and Perry. You really want to see Perry and Council step up to the plate. Marilla is having a good day too. Not a whole lot to say for only one hit, but has been putting a lot of the bat on the ball all day. Right now, if you're Oregon State, where you're telling your pitcher is, that's fine, you walked, no big deal. Those runs, again, don't matter. Get the batter right here, get a ground ball, or get a pop-up. I don't care what it is. Get something that you can do something with. Get the lead runner. Just one pitch, one batter at a time. And again, if you just pitch your inning, you can still get out of it with a win, and we're shaking hands.
Fastball right down the middle at 94. Why mess with the slider or curling pitch? Just get it down the middle.
When you got 94, just keep going right now.
There it is again, 92.
If I got a batter standing at the plate and they've just taken 2 strikes, middle in, middle in, I'm going middle up, challenging them.
Here's the 0-2. Breaking ball. Got a piece of it at 85. And again, it's looking slower than 85, and that's because how fast the 94, 95 is.
The fastball's coming in from Big Boy, coming in fast at 85, looks really slow.
Breaking ball, got him. 83, dipping breaking ball. Down goes Spaniard.
It's a lot easier to pitch when you're ahead of the count.
Top of the order now, Council coming up. Hit him. Bases are loaded.
That's that spot again. You went after the last hitter. You pounded fastball right in there. You get ahead of the count. Yeah, yes, you get him out with the slider, but you got ahead with the fastball. Right there, he goes to Council. He goes slider again. If I'm the catcher, if I'm the head coach down there, I want to choke my catcher out. Why aren't we just attacking with the fastball? What is the only thing that really working right now to get ahead of the count is the fastball. Keep bringing me that fastball.
Marilla takes ball 1. Now you hear the Oregon State fans getting a little antsy.
Absolutely. The tying run now is on first base. The lead run's at the plate.
Good looking pitch there. 80. Slowed it down a little bit. Just looped it over the plate. In the air to left field. And making the catch is Turley. The throw to the plate won't be in time. 6-4 on a sac fly. But more importantly for Oregon State, 2 outs.
You're exactly right. That out is way more important than that run for Oregon State. Minnesota will take the run.
Yeah, Turley was trying to end it with that throw to the plate.
Yes, he was.
He's got a good enough arm to do it, but coming in safe was Hunt.
I'm surprised Berkland didn't go to third with how high that throw was too. Like, there was no doubt that throw was not going to get cut off. That throw was going home.
Perry, the batter, has singled his last 2 times up. First and second. Check the swing, no swing. That was close.
That was close. But if you're Minnesota, this is the man you want to play. Base hits the last 2 at-bats, walk right before that. This is the guy that you want here in this situation. 400 so far in the last 2 games.
Swing and a miss. Minnesota down to their final strike. That was 84. The scoreboard says on your feet. And the Oregon State fans oblige. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Just missed.
That is a tough take.
Isn't it?
94, just, couldn't have been more than an inch outside.
Here we go again. The 2-2 to Perry coming up. 3-2. Perry showing his toughness with that eye. Full count. Gets it in the air to left field. Turley underneath it. Ball game is over. Oregon State holds off Minnesota. It wasn't easy, but they get the win. 6-9-1 for Oregon State. 4 runs, 8 hits, and 2 errors for Minnesota. Golden Gophers leave on 17 men compared to 8.
Yeah, that's the biggest difference right there in this ball game. Oregon State kept walking them, getting into trouble, and somehow finding ways to get out of it.
So the final score, 6-4 in favor of Oregon State over Minnesota. Our nightcap game will be coming up at 5 o'clock Mountain Time here in Surprise, Arizona. It'll be the University of New Mexico Lobos taking on the runners of Cal State Bakersfield. 5 o'clock Mountain Time, 7 o'clock on the East Coast. For David Arnsma and our crew, I'm Scott Coletti saying so long for now. Join us back at 5 o'clock here on FloBaseball.